Attention! The following podcast contains explicit content and is not suitable for children. This podcast may also make you piss your pants, laugh, cry, maybe even shit your pants. If so, enjoy.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Dino Mac, and this is the Mac Attack Show.
What's the sex life like for you?
Completely zero.
Dean, I did not expect this whole show to be about my boobs. Sorry, this is ridiculous.
It's organic. We just roll with it. Oh my God, are you serious? My mom was hitting on you?
I am fucking serious.
Jesus, 61, 62-year-old cougar coming at you.
Yeah.
Coming at you like a sad Monday, huh?
Inspired by the Mac Attack Show, of course, and thank you for that inspiration, Dean. I truly, I'm digging this. I'm digging what you're doing. I think it's really cool.
And now, here is your host, Dino Mac.
What's going on, everybody? What is happening? What are you doing out there? Thank you so much. Now shut up. Shut up, I said shut up. Music off. Music off. Good. That's exactly how I want it to be, and that's how it's going to be. Guys, thank you for tuning in to Exit 92 Radio. My name is Dino Mac, and this is the Mac Attack Show. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. Big news I want to kick off first. I usually have my co-host on here, Bill or Heavy D or Sexual Sarah, but Bill says give him 5 to 10 minutes. This is radio, people. When you say you're going to be somewhere at a certain time, you don't say, give me 5 to 10 minutes. You just don't say that shit. Sorry. But anyways, I do want to bring up something about Exit 92 Radio. I'm pretty sure. Let me just go back to the conversation on Exit 92 Radio. And I want to say that they are having a last show on May 28th. May 28th. Let's see. Let's just take a look at it right here. At 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, May 28th, Exit 92 Radio will have their last show. Unfortunately, everybody is shutting down. Exit 92 Radio will be done. But you can always follow the Mac Attack Show here on Spreaker.com. And if you guys don't know how to do that, let me stress this a little bit to you. Let me get this out there a little bit. Let me explain how you can listen to Exit 92 Radio. After May 28th, you won't be listening to Exit 92 Radio no more. But you definitely want to tune in for that show at 9 o'clock. It's the last show. Please, I encourage everybody to tune in. But Chris says, what's up, Dino Mac? Hillbilly. When he gets on here, I will let him know. Thanks for tuning in, Chris. Hopefully you're sharing this text message or via text message. So if you want to follow the Mac Attack Show, if you still want to hear the Mac Attack Show, since Exit 92 Radio is not going to be around, if you only listen to Exit 92 Radio, why don't you come over to the Mac Attack Show and you can still follow us and listen to us, and we will probably be doing some coverage on Exit 92 Radio as they go live. We'll be listening to their podcast, and we'll be doing a show of our own to kind of like almost like a simulcast kind of thing. Like we're going to help them out and see where they're at with that. Definitely want to see everybody tune in for that one. But if you don't know how to get on the Spreaker app. If you've always wanted to share this with a friend, let me explain to you. If you're on the podcast right now with the Spreaker app, there's 3 dots that look like a greater less than sign that are connected. That's called a share button, ladies and gentlemen. All right, you can share the show. Your smartphone will automatically do it. It'll give you options. You can send it Twitter. You can do a Facebook. You can do a text message. You can do the son of a bitch in an email. You can share the show many, many ways. I just shared the show in a matter of a couple of seconds. You can even share the Mac Attack show and Exit 92 Radio on Snapchat. So you guys ought to give that a shot. I'm serious. But so if you don't know how to do this, here's how you if a friend doesn't know how to tune into the Mac Attack show or Exit 92 Radio, here's how you tell them to do it. You go to www.spreaker, that's SPREAKER.com. There, you're going to search, explore all different types of podcasts in the world. All right, awesome. So that's how you do it. Now, also, if you are already on the list of the Mac Attack show and you just shared the show like Chris did, that's dumb. The show was just shared twice. But if you're learning, that's cool too. So anyways, you need to go to Spreaker.com. Then it's going to ask you to sign in or sign up. Log in or sign up. And God, you guys, if talk radio is your thing, if music is your thing, if you want plenty of free stuff, okay, no cost to you. Sign in with your Facebook, your Twitter account. You can sign in with your Google account, your Gmail. Or you can sign in with an email account that lets everybody know who you are and what's going on and what you're about. You can search all different types of podcasts on here. Let it be comedy. Let it be sports. There's a lot of great sports. News. CNN, Fox, all of them. They're all on here. They're all on Spreaker.com. The cool thing about Spreaker is it's kind of like a search engine. And it takes podcasts from all major podcasting companies like Podcast One. Podcast One has a lot of good celebrities that have their own podcasts that actually, some of them are pretty good and some of them are pretty funny. So you wouldn't want to miss out. It gives you something different to listen to besides XM radio, 105 FM. You know what I mean? Like, it's totally different than what you're used to. And it will, Chris says, at least you know I'm sharing it. It won't let me share it on Facebook. Well, that's dumb, Chris. That's dumb. Yeah. I might be able to help you out with that later, Chris. But again, you can also go to the Mac Attack show, or you go to Exit 92 Radio. Go to the Mac Attack show's Facebook page. You'll see that the show of this show has posted on there. And you can share that show. Same link. Everything's connected. You can share this show via text message as I said earlier. It's real simple. You press the 3 little dots there and you share it via text message. When your friend or family member clicks on that link, their smartphone will automatically open up and it will take them directly to the show. Nate Biggs is in the house. What's going on, Nate? Thanks for tuning in to the Mac Attack show here live on Exit 92 Radio. Today I have a few topics that I want to discuss, but the show is what he says. What's guys? He corrected himself. Nate, it's all right, man. No big deal. But there's a few topics that I wanted to talk about today, and one of them are patient rights. But I really need to get another person's aspect on here. I need my co-host, the Hillbilly Hefner himself, Mr. Bill Downey. He will be on here in a little bit. I don't know what's taking him so long. He may have had to go buy some beer. Hell, who knows? Nate, again, thanks for tuning in. Chris is on here. Again, guys, share the show. And what that does is if you enjoy listening to the Mac Attack show here on Exit 92 Radio, you definitely want to share this show. You can also favorite this show. This is how networking is used, and it's so awesome. I do want to give a shout out to everybody that's on the Mac Attack show on Spreaker.com here, just for our show. Thank you for the 20,000 and above plays. Thank you so much. Totally cool to see that. That is awesome. And for your viewing or for your listening pleasure, to Monday, May 8th, we're going to have It Lives, It Breathes, the band from Providence, Rhode Island. It's going to be on there. Their vocalist is going to be on there. And Kevin Lasarda is going to be on there. And he's going to be talking. We're going to be talking all things. They also do all things It Lives, It Breathes, all about the band. And they also do wrestling medley, something like that. They do your WWE superstars entrance themes, and they put their own little twist on it. It's kind of like a cover band for wrestling, from my understanding. So that's pretty cool. You definitely want to tune into that this Monday. Also, do you like sex? Huh? Like a little bump and grind? Do you? Well, as Chris said on the chat board, Christopher says, that's my cousin Dino. I'm getting listeners. That's right. Also, if you like sex and you like talking about sex and you like laughing sometimes about sex, but you want to be comfortable to talk about it, here on the Mac Attack show, we got a show called Sex Talk Sunday, and you don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss Sex Talk Sunday. Nate says, heck yeah, who don't? So there's a lot of great shows here on Exit 92 Radio before they delete it all. Before that, you can go into the Blue Steel archives. You go to the Schizo's Happy and Schizo. You can go to Nab's I Don't Know. There's different. I think it's either Mike B's or the Metal Meltdown or Big J. He's got a lot of metal music that he plays. A lot of good music. If you guys like listening to rock music and metal music, they got that. If you like the blues, you go to the Blue Steel Archives by the big bad Boo Bear himself, Mr. Nick Solomon. He plays blues, and it's awesome. It's just good shit. Exit 92 Radio was awesome. I am going to miss them, but you do not want to miss out for the final show, May 28th at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's the last time Exit 92 Radio is going to air a show, and it will be the last time that the Mac Attack show will be on. Oh, God. Hillbilly Hefner's ready. Share it on Facebook. Thanks, Nate. We appreciate it. It'll be the last time that the Mac Attack show will be on Exit 92 Radio. So, there's a couple more shows left that the Mac Attack show is going to do on Exit 92 Radio. I'm going to go ahead and let me just call Hillbilly Hefner himself. Let's get him on the line. Let's see what he's doing. Maybe he was taking a dump. Who knows?
Yellow?
What the hell are you? You're late.
I'm late. God dang it.
You're actually you're 14 minutes and 24 seconds. The chat boards have been blowing up already. Everybody's waited for.
I'm 12 minutes late because that's when I sent you the text.
You sent me.
You took 2 minutes to call me.
I gotta warn you about this too. Since we do this podcast this way, Bill, if you know you're going to be a little bit late, you can't text 1 minute before the show starts.
Well, I got a phone call, Dean. I didn't expect to get the phone call that late.
Well, son.
I know, right?
But because we've had some hiccups before in the past where they wouldn't be able to hear you. But right now, I'm looking at the LEDs, and you are lighting up, brother. You are lighting up. Ladies and gentlemen,
live.
let me introduce you. If you're new to the podcast, if you haven't heard the Mac Attack Show, this guy's new. This guy's funny, and he's raw and uncut. That's why he got hired. He got hired to be on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Hillbilly Hefner himself, Mr. Bill Downey. What's going on, Bill?
Motherfucking Bill Downey.
Bill D?
The one and only. The BD, motherfuckers.
We got a new listener online here. It's Chris's cousin, Krispy Kreme, the Donut Man, is on the chat boards, and his cousin Nate Biggs is on there.
Nate Dog.
Yep, and they're blowing it up.
Sweet. I might have to jump on there to see what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, Chris says, Hillbilly, we had to listen to Dino talk to himself, and I was explaining to people how to share the show, how to follow the Mac Attack Show, and I was telling them about the last show Exit 92 Radio is going to have, Bill.
Oh, man.
We've only got a couple shows left on Exit 92 Radio because after May 28th at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, it'll be the last time that Exit 92 Radio broadcast here on Spreaker.com. So they've got over 900 followers. It's an excellent place. I hate to see it go. It's so sad, but it is what it is.
Is this a show? This is for Exit 92 Radio?
Yeah, this is the show for Exit 92 Radio. I try to do a show every Saturday. Sometimes work gets involved. I can't do a show, but I always try to do a show for Exit 92 Radio because, see, these guys found me on Sex Talk Sunday. They was exploring the Spreaker.com podcast wave. They was just surfing through it. All of a sudden, I think somebody was searching for sex, and they got us. They found us on Sex Talk Sunday, and we did a little bit of Skyping, and they said, "Hey, how would you like to do a show on Exit 92 Radio out of Jacksonville, Florida?" And I said, "Goddamn right." So,
does it bear shit in the woods?
Yeah. So, if anybody else out there would like to do, if you like our content, you want to add us to your podcast, you'd like the Mac Attack Show to come over and do a show, maybe to help up your ratings a little bit. I don't know. I'm not going to sit there. The Mac Attack Show is the second highest listened to show here on Spreaker.com. It was the first for a little while. Then we got Hans in there. He did some electrical techno music, and people love that shit. So they burnt that playlist up. But I'm not too far behind him. And with your help, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to the podcast, with your help, you can make the Mac Attack Show the number one show on Exit 92 Radio again. But it's only going to be number one until May 28th. So, Nate says, haha, you have to spell it out for people. Chris was searching too hard and found you too funny.
Speaking of spelling it out for people, for the hurt generation, I'd like to spell this out for you. Fucku. Just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, the Mac Attack Show, if you're new to it, if you're just now tuning in, if you're listening to it, be like, what the hell is this? What the hell is Dean doing? This podcast is focused towards the hurt feeling generation. We're giving you the middle finger and a Band-Aid to put over your little boo-boo. Huh? Your little boo-boo.
You're bleeding vagina.
You're bleeding vagina. You're bleeding vagina.
Fucking pussies.
Well, I entitled this show called Define Patient Rights, and I got a little something that I had to get off my chest, Bill, and I want to get your input on this. And, guys, if you're listening at home, respond as much as you can, and I'll get to the chat boards as soon as I can here because it does notify me as soon as somebody puts a new chat up. So my mom decides, you know that my mom is a dialysis patient, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she is going to, there's a dialysis center in Plymouth, Indiana, Oh, yeah, and I'm putting them on blast because this is what I do. I stir the pot, fuckface.
That's right.
Anyways, so she goes to the dialysis center in Plymouth, Indiana, and she plays hell trying to get a ride because there is no good drivers that accept Medicaid or Medicare. She is 62 to 63 years old. She'll be 63 this June. And bless her heart, she's my mama. And, of course, I'm a little biased because, hey, it's my mom. I love my mom to death. But we all know the history with, how my mom was treated in the past and how she's still treated to this day. Yes, she is treated like complete garbage to this day sometimes. People look at her, snooty with her, whatever. I think she's to a point in her life where she just blows that shit off. She's more worried about 4 pictures, 1 word. Can you figure it out? Help her out. That's what she's always sending me that. She goes, I can't figure this out. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell it is. But anyways, she goes to dialysis center today, and this is the scenario, Bill. This is what they say. She is in the waiting room right before she goes into the dialysis area where all the machines are. She's in the waiting room, and there's 2 other patients with her. And somebody says something about a big bag, and my mom's got a big, tote bag, kind of, that she has a blanket in. And my mom said, yeah, she goes, I need to downsize this blanket so I can bring a smaller bag so it's not so big. And after she said that, she goes into the center, gets all ready, gets all hooked up, and I guess the head honchos of the center. Now, I've been there, and I'm not fucking impressed with any of this. And so the head honchos go up to her, and they said, Mary, did you happen to talk about somebody's blanket being too big? And my mom said, no, man. She goes, it was my blanket that was too big. That's what they was like, well, that's not what they said. So you don't you don't need to be ridiculing people's blankets and stuff like that. And I was like, so she calls me up and she knows that I know the rule book. I'm just waiting for legal obligations. I'm just waiting for them to give me a reason to sue their fucking ass. That's all I'm doing. But there's nothing I can do right now because they didn't do anything wrong. Here's what they did. Okay.
Motherfuckers, prove she was talking about somebody else's blanket besides her own.
Well, that's my thing. I mean, we're sitting here talking about some bullshit that's really kind of childish, but here's the deal. What had happened is so one of the patients in there kind of just turned it around or misunderstood her. Told the higher-ups like they are supposed to, said, hey, this person's talking trash about my shit, and I don't feel comfortable about that. So doing their job, what they're supposed to do, they went and addressed my mother because, they don't know what was really, they wasn't there, they're just doing their job. So they're not doing anything wrong. Okay. But
but for her to say, I wasn't talking about their blanket, I was talking about my own. And then for them to say, well, we can't be talking about other people's shit.
Yeah.
Did you not fucking hear what I just said?
I agree. I agree to that extent here. Let me go to the chat boards. Let's see what people are saying here.
Talking about personal bleeding.
Oh, I see that. I like that. I like how you multitask, Bill. That's awesome.
Oh, I'm a multitasker, man. I could do this show and jerk off at the same time. I guarantee it. In fact, I did the last time we did Sex Talk Sunday. Great.
Sarah does it. Sexual Sarah does it every day. Every day. Every time we do Sex Talk Sunday, every day, 24/7, she is flicking the bean.
She says she doesn't like it when you call it that, man. You got to stop saying that.
I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I'm kind of a big deal. I pretty much say whatever the hell I want. But, Bill, I mean, I got to admit, the FCC won't let me be. So.
Yeah, fuck them, too.
Anyways,
you were saying, I'm sorry, I don't keep interrupting you.
So anyways, she's sitting here telling me this, and I'm like, okay, Mom. She goes, I need you to look in the rule book. Bless my mom's heart, man. I don't think she understands. There's not really a rule book, but I think I had called it that at one time, so that's what she refers to. And she goes, I need you to look in the rule book, and I need you to see if they have anything in there on blankets. I was
Oh, jeez.
and I was like, what? Now, she's calling me while I'm at work, so I take just a little bit of time at work to see what's wrong, to make sure she's okay. And she's talking real low like this. Can you hear me, Bill?
Yeah.
Okay, this is how she's talking. Because she has been told. She has been told
She was
before.
in dialysis when she called you.
Yeah. She was in dialysis when she called me, and she has to talk like this because the patients are not allowed to talk real loud on their phone because it disturbs the other patients. Are you shitting me?
Wow.
My mother's not allowed to do jack diddly fucking squat. One time she went over to this dialysis center, okay, and there's a hallway as soon as you pull up there. There's a hallway that you go through, and then you got to go in an elevator, go up one story, and then that's where the dialysis center is. It's on the second story there. And they said that, usually there's wheelchairs in there. And my mom is a heavier set woman. She's a big woman, whatever. And they have wide wheelchairs, okay? Well, they always have wheelchairs. You're supposed to put the wheelchair back in the hallway when you're done using it, and the reason for that is so other patients can use those wheelchairs, okay? So what had happened was I took my wife actually took my mother to dialysis, and there was a time – no, not my wife. I'm sorry. There was a friend of my mom's that took my mom to dialysis, and they go and they looked and they looked and they looked, and there was no wide wheelchair. My mom can't fit in a normal wheelchair size. That's nobody's fault, I understand, but she can't fit into a normal size. Dude, she had to walk, and my mom she's not in the position, she's not in the health to walk for long distances.
Right.
Okay? So she said she had to walk in. She goes, I thought I was going to pass out. Here's what I did. I called there. She was on the machine. She was hooked up. They would not have anybody go look around the center there to see if there was a wide wheelchair ready for when she got unhooked.
Right.
She asked me to call them and see if anybody could look. So I called the head honchos, and I said, hey, man. I was like, my mom said there's no she had to walk in today, and that's not really healthy of her to do that. Is there a wide wheelchair available for it? They was like, we don't know because we can't leave the center to go look for wheelchairs. I said, okay, I understand that. And I was trying to be polite because that's bullshit. That is bullshit. Yeah. What do you mean you can't leave the center? How many nurses, how many technicians do you have on call? Don't give me that shit. You're not union, fuckface. No offense to the unions. But you don't have one specific job title. You can kiss my ass.
Right.
Okay? Anyways, so I asked him, I go, okay, I understand that. I was like, is there any way that you could call some of the different departments in the center? Because there's other places in that center. And
right.
I said, could you call anybody else and see if they could possibly see if there was a wheelchair left in another room or something? And it was like, this was the lady's exact words. No. And I was like, okay, thank you.
Why the fuck not?
And I said, thank you for your time, and I hung up. That was their first get out of jail free card, because I will not tolerate that type of rudeness ever again.
That is fucking ridiculous,
but at the same time, I got to be like kind of walking on just a little bit of eggshells, because if I make a big scene, like, bringing a knife into third grade and throwing it on the teacher's desk, if I make a big scene as far as legal obligations or something like that, that can make it rough on my mom at the dialysis center. So that means that they wouldn't take her. I don't know exactly on the legal part of that. If anybody's out there that could help me, I want to say that they can't really deny her. Is if Medicaid and Medicare is paying for these visits, then there's not really, if they're getting their money. Didn't they take an oath, Bill? Like when you become
let me just say this. Coming from somebody who's been kind of in the medical profession, okay? I was an EMT basic for several years, okay? You know, yeah, you got the people that are pain in the ass calls, okay? But you got to treat them all the same way with respect until they give you a reason not to, okay? If I go and pick up an old lady who fell down and I put her in the ambulance and she's being nice to me, but the daughter is outside the ambulance screaming and cussing at me the whole fucking time. I don't go and treat the patient bad because the daughter was being pissy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you try your best to accommodate everything that you can for that patient. You know, and I don't mean any disrespect to anybody, okay? But there's been times that we've gone out on heavier people.
Okay. Right.
And we have to call for a lift assist. Mm-hmm. The cot that we had was only able to lift, I think it had a 400-pound lift limit. Okay. It would hold 1,000, but it could only lift 400 because it was an automatic. It ran off of a battery. It lifted itself.
Let me pause you real quick. I do want to say, Chris says, Dean, do you need? He said a few seconds ago. Said Dino, you need me to take a trip.
Baseball bats and ski mask. Bats and ski mask.
Not yet. We'll vandalize their vehicles later. Or just plant a kilo of Bam Bam underneath. Whatever we got to do to set them up. I mean, if I have to, I'll go and I'll stand in front of a judge and I'll say, they touched my no spot. Anyways.
Telling you were so mad you saw red. You don't know what the fuck happened after that.
Yeah. So okay, all right. So continue with yours. This lift assist was the maximum of 400 pounds.
Yeah. So we went out on a guy that was 820 pounds. Okay, and the poor guy, he couldn't walk to the cot. We had to call in the fire department to help us lift because there's only two of us. There's a driver and somebody that sits in the back with the patient, right?
Okay.
So we had to call the fire department. We grabbed the sheets from under his bed that he was laying on, picked him up, and put him on the cot. And, I mean, the lady that was there was just chewing our ass left and right.
For what?
Okay. God, dude, I don't even know because I was so pissed off at the time that, I don't even remember what it was about, but it was we didn't get there fast enough or, we're doing something wrong. Because everybody becomes a professional once you get there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They know more than you do, even though I had to go to schooling for, I don't even know how many months and go through whatever, all that bullshit. But hey, what the hell do I know?
Right.
Anyways, we get the guy finally in the ambulance, and he's apologizing left and right because of how she's acting. And I'm like, dude, it's no big deal, and we get this all the time. It's fine. We're going to take care of you the best we can. In the medical profession, if you've got a larger patient that needs a larger wheelchair, you go get a fucking larger wheelchair. That's just the way it fucking is.
Right.
Is it inconvenient? Yeah, it is inconvenient. So is lifting an 800-pound man. But you fucking do it because that's what you signed up for. That's your fucking job. Mm-hmm. Get it done. Now, having said all that, Dean, you as a member of the family have a right to call in there and say, this is bullshit. I don't like the way my mom's treated. I'm not satisfied with your services. Mm-hmm. You need to make this fucking right.
Yeah. Well, it's getting to that point. I do want to say the definition of patient rights encompasses legal and ethical issues in the provider-patient relationship, including a person's right to privacy, the right to quality medical care without prejudice, the right to make informed decisions on care and treatment options, and the right to refuse treatment.
Yeah.
That's a little bit about patient rights. Well, little do they really understand. They just by law, what they do is they put up these little pamphlets, okay? These little informational pamphlets that let people know what their patient rights are and what their duty is as the dialysis center or the clinic in general. Every clinical's got it, you know, whether it be eye doctor, leg doctor, physical therapy, whatever. There is information that by law has to be provided to you, and you have the right to free access to this information. And it says in there what their rights are, and one of their rights is to be treated with dignity and respect. They should feel comfortable there, and they should be treated with the patients are deserve to be treated with respect. And I think there's a lot of disrespect going on at this dialysis center.
Well, you're not following what the patient care is. You have to accommodate. Okay? That means you're going to have, if you don't have wider wheelchairs, guess who's going to the wheelchair store and buying another fucking wheelchair? Accommodate that patient. You obviously know that she's going to come in. Prepare for it.
Nate,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Nate says if it was me, I would have done whatever I could to help. Don't matter if I get in trouble or not. Yeah, that's hell yeah. That's a good, like, you know, surgical tech or technician, or because see, there's nurses, there's the head honcho, there's nurses, and then there's techs. People that know about the machine, people that go to college for this shit. Nate says, should have started stripping while asking for a wheelchair. Well, I wasn't there. I just called him up on the phone. Nate also says, might have gotten somewhere. You know, I might want to do like a Magic Mike. You know, little.
Yeah,
scene.
you might have got charged with indecent exposure and got sent to jail. I mean, if you're gonna. In all seriousness, if you got to handle this, you got to handle this, you know,
in a legal aspect,
in the right way. Yeah, because you start doing that shit, and the cops get called, and oh god, it could get real interesting from there. And then, I mean, and then all seriousness, how are you going to be able to help her if you're sitting in a cell? You know what I mean?
My mom just texted me and said, you can. She goes, I can be put in a different unit if you say something like that.
What in the lockdown unit? Is this a fucking jail now?
No, it's a different dialysis unit. She could be put in a different, like, she may have to go to Mishawaka. And then play hell trying to find a ride there. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. What in the hell is up with the fucking services for Medicare and Medicaid people in that fucking state around in the Marshall County area?
You know, this might be a little off here, Dean. But would you want you want a second opinion in on this?
Yeah, absolutely. It's an
okay,
opinion.
Well,
you're entitled to it.
Well, no. How about a third opinion?
Okay.
Because I got somebody who's sitting here next to me who's had plenty of dealings with fucking hospitals as of late, and I'm sure would love to get his opinion in on it if you're willing.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get him on the show.
You want to call him up?
Is it Mr. Barry Zahn?
It's Mr. Barry Zahn. Barry, you want to be on the show? Yeah, call him up.
All right, hold on here. Let's do this. Let's get another opinion on the show about this, because, you know, I don't think my mom's really got anything to worry about. And, you know, and if that's the case, knowing that Bill, that they would actually put her in a different unit because we said something about that.
I don't see how they could do that.
Right. That's oh God, I think that would be. You think that maybe we could
there
get
would
him
be
for
your grounds right there?
Yeah, grounds for malpractice.
Oh, yeah, I think if they did that, that would be an attorney immediately calling an attorney.
I mean, because technically, what you're doing is it's like kind of like when you plead the fifth and you say, I haven't called Barry yet. Hold on, I will. But it's kind of like when you plead the fifth, and when somebody asks you a question in court, and you say, well, I exercise my right to plead the Fifth Amendment or whatever. It's pretty much, it's one of those things in court where if you don't say nothing, then you pretty much are saying that you did do something.
Yep.
You have the right to shut the fuck up, but you also have the right to be accountable.
Just admitted guilt at the same time.
All right, hold on, Bill. We're going to call old Barry Zahn up.
All right, you call him.
I don't know where he's at. Let's see where Barry Zahn is. I got to find him, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta find him. There he is. I got him. I got him. There he is. Barry, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're all on here. We're on the Mac Attack Show here on Exit 92 Radio. I do want to remind everybody of May 28th, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Exit 92 Radio's last show. We are going to miss them. Make sure you share the shit out of that. Tell all your friends. Nate Biggs says, I hate going to the doc. It's like they Google what your problem is, then tell you what Google says. I could do that myself and not pay for it.
Yeah.
Barry Bill
Seems to be
says,
how it is.
ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the show Barry Zom. What's going on, Barry?
Nothing, man. What you up to this evening?
I'm sitting here bitching about patient rights, man. I got a problem with this whole ordeal. And Bill says you've dealt with a lot of you've got to be bad past before you could have it. I don't know. My mom's texting me. She must be tuned into the show. And Mom, thank you for listening to the show. Barry, Bill says that you've had some dealings with some hospitals. I need to get your opinion on this and tell me a little bit about this.
What are you wanting to know?
What I'm wanting to know, I don't know if you've been listening to the show, but here's a scenario. My mom goes into the waiting room, and the listeners have already heard this. I hate to repeat this, but my mom is in the waiting room for the dialysis center. She talks about her blanket and her tote that she has her blanket in, and she says to the other two patients, she goes, I need to downsize my blanket to a smaller blanket because, that way it gets a smaller tote and all this stuff. And she goes into the dialysis center. They hook her up, and all of a sudden the big head honchos come over there, and they said, Mary, we heard that you told a patient you was talking about a patient's blanket. And she's like, no, I was talking about my blanket. And they said, well, you don't need to be talking about other patients' blankets, so on and so forth. Okay, so, all right, that's just one incident, but I don't classify that as an incident. I mean, serious, in their defense, and I will defend them because, again, legal shit. I will defend them. They was just doing their job. A patient complained. They went to the other patient. They said something. Bill says, hey, did you just hear what I fucking said? I wasn't talking about their blanket. I said my blanket, you dumbass. My blanket. So, Mom, I cannot get you on there. I'm sorry. I cannot do it. The phone lines are full.
My mom wants to be on the show.
I kind of have to agree with you. I mean, it seems like a lot of people only listen to a conversation just to give you an answer. They don't want to listen to the conversation to actually truly listen to what you have to say and to care about what you have to say. And of course, to the hospitals, they just want your money. I mean, they don't really give a crap if you're sick or not. They just want your money. You're here.
You're sick. They want you.
You got a runny nose. Yeah, go buy the 7-day pill. Thank you. Here's $70 that you owe me. Goodbye. I got to go to the next person.
Yeah. How long you been dealing with the medical field in general?
I'm going to say 8 years. Me personally, I don't go because I kind of use the middle finger sometimes. I go to the hospital. I mean, I get a little bit of fever. He wants to send me to the hospital. I think you need to go get an MRI. I'm like, for what? I have a fever. Well, there's some underlying issues. Underlying nothing. You just want more money. I'm like, whatever. I'm not coming to you.
No, wait a minute. Now, hold on. No. Let me hold it. Barry, come on now. There may be some underlying issues. You didn't go to school for this, though. How do you know that you don't have some major underlying issues that maybe, I mean, what if you've got something wrong with your prostate?
Maybe you have bleeding from the ass.
Yeah, like on a serious note, how do you know? You can't just shrug that kind of stuff off. I understand what you're saying, though. I totally agree. Yeah. They do want more money.
Who knows your body better than you?
That's a wonderful thing about Google. You know your body. You know how you feel. You know some of the things you've been through before. You Google some of the symptoms, whatever. But it just seems like you can't go to the doctor to have a conversation with the doctor. Say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. Okay, this is what I think it is. Here's some home remedies. Try these. If it doesn't get any better, come back and see me. It's not that anymore. It's every time you go in for a scrape, we need to give you stitches. We need to staple this shit shut because you could be internally bleeding. I'm like, Doc, it's 3 scrapes.
Barry is fired up tonight.
Yeah.
Just some fucking ointment and a Band-Aid, dude. Just fucking do your job and send me the fuck home. I don't need to go to a fucking hospital. Dude, I've spent so much time in the hospital, it could be a job that I earned money at. That's how many in a fucking hospital. Fuck that shit.
Did you stir the pot enough on that one, Dean?
Yeah, no, I ain't even begun yet. Hell, I'm just warming up. And guys, towards the end of the show, we may actually get my mom on here. We're let Bill and Barry go towards the end of the show. Not yet. But we may have my mama on the show, and we'll see what she has to say about this whole ordeal here. So, Google is life, Nate says.
I mean, dude, I have spent so much time in the hospital where when my wife had our second child that we lost, I would literally I would stay at my house one night, drive to work for 9 hours, drive to South Bend, stay the night, drive to work the next morning, come home and do the things at the house, drive back to work, drive back to the hospital. I have been there for that. I stayed 2 weeks straight in the hospital when we lost our first child.
Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that.
I have logged so many hours in a hospital, dude. It's just a job. Like, when I go to work to sell parts, that's what them people in these hospitals are doing. It's just a job. There's no we're doing this for your benefit. It's just about the money. They don't give a crap.
But don't they take an oath, though?
Not all of them. Not all of them.
Don't they take an oath, Barry? I mean, I'm pretty sure they take an oath of when they get into the medical field.
I highly doubt it.
It's not an official oath that you have to take. Like, when you go into law enforcement, you got to stand there, raise your right hand, and take an oath that you're going to uphold the law. You're going to follow the law yourself. You're going to do all this shit. In the medical field, it's not like that. You take
all you
like
do is pay for 7 years of college. That's all you do.
What you do is you take an unwritten oath. You take the personal oath that you're getting into the medical field to help people and to care for patients.
Right. Like,
and not all of them are like that. I mean, like, my mom's been a nurse all of her life. She takes her job very serious. And, she's been in the hospital. She's been on the mother-baby unit. She's been a school nurse at several different schools. Mm-hmm. And my mom don't put up with any shit either. When the kids come in and they go, "Oh, I got a sore throat or my tummy aches," she's like, "You're not running a fever. Go back to class." I mean,
yeah, but your mom's country is fucked, though. I mean, kid could be dying, but your mom be like, "Walk it off."
Walk it off, pussy. Rub some dirt on it. It's fine. My mom's old school. But, not all of them, but it does seem like the general consensus of hospital, emergency rooms, /whatever, are out to get your money. They don't really take patient care into consideration as much as they take, are you covered with insurance?
And this is coming from somebody that's been part of the EMS.
Yes.
So this is good. See, this is what I'm talking about. Barry, let me give you the scenario since you didn't listen to the show. And ladies and gentlemen, my mama is tuned in. She is listening live. And Mama, we thank you for tuning in.
Hi, Mom.
And so, okay, Barry, let me give you this incident, and I want your opinion. It's just strictly opinion. Okay, my mom gets taken to the dialysis center from a friend. Notice that I'm not saying what the center is actually called in Plymouth, Indiana. I'm just saying the dialysis center. You can do your own research, okay? Not putting their name on blast, not yet. Fuckface. Anyways, so my mom has a friend. She goes. My mom is texting like crazy because she's not signed in on the chat boards. I don't think she knows how, but I will teach her later as soon as I can. So my mom goes to dialysis center. Friend drops her off, and well, she doesn't really drop they have to help her out of the vehicle, and they have to go find her a wide wheelchair, okay? Because my mom's a heavier set lady. She can't fit in a normal size wheelchair, Barry. You follow me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, so when you pull up to the big doors and you go in, there's two sets of doors that you push with your hand or something. It's for handicapped, and they just open, okay?
Right.
All right, you go, and there's just this hallway right there, and there's wheelchairs kind of lined up. Normal wheelchairs with hangers, wheelchairs with dildos, whatever, wheelchairs. So there's wide wheelchairs, and normal size one. Okay, so the normal size wheelchairs my mom can't fit in, but the wide ones she can. Mom, quit texting me. My mom does say hi. So my mom says hi to everybody. Okay, so hold on, Mom. We're gonna get you on the show here in a little bit. So my the friend can't find a wheelchair. My mom has to literally walk into the dialysis center. Now she's not good with her walking. Her feet's not. She's gonna be 63 if I remember correctly. This June, and she's not in good walking condition. She has no strength left in her legs. Well, she called me up. She told me she had to walk in because she have to walk to the elevator, go up to the second story, then walk over to the door and go in. So I was all like, you walked in there, and she said, yeah. She goes, I almost passed out. So I was like, Jesus. And she goes, well, I'm about ready to get off. She goes, but I don't have a wheelchair. I'm going to have to walk down there. She goes, I don't know if I can trust that. And I was like, no, hell no, you can't. Because she has to hold her access point on her arm where they put the needle in her arm that hooks up to the machine that cleans her blood. And
Right.
and she has to hold those sites on there for 10 minutes apiece on each side. So 20 minutes max, and she's got to hold these sites so she doesn't bleed out. Well, Mom,
Oh.
go with me on Saturday. My mom says, how about everybody go with me on Saturday? Quit texting.
Oh, there you go.
So
Just walk in with a posse.
yeah, that's right. Psych them out. So she has to hold her sites or whatever. So I call up the dialysis center and I say, hi, my name's Dean so-and-so. I was wanting to know, I'm Mary's son. I was just wanting to know if there's any wheelchairs available for her. And they was like, we don't know. Sometimes, they're left in certain rooms and stuff like that. And she goes, and we can't leave the center because we would be leaving the patients. And I said, okay, I get that. I was like, is there any way that you possibly could have call to the other departments and see if there's a wide wheelchair in any of those other departments? And her exact words, Barry, and I shit you not, was, no. Just like that. Exactly like that. I think the next time I call them, I mean, I'm serious. I think the next time I call them, I'm going to tell them, hi, my name's Dean so-and-so. This call will be recorded for quality purposes. so I mean,
this is be for lawyer services.
So, I mean, seriously, Barry, what is your opinion on that? Don't you think that's a little shitty?
That's just rude as hell, for one, because you're in a very personal job to me. I mean, even me as a parts man, my job is to try to help a person when they don't know what they want. My job is to try to help them know what they want.
But do you
You're there for a service to a person.
But do you try to sell them the most expensive part, though?
Absolutely not.
Come on.
I have actually talked a person out of a part that they came in asking for because it wouldn't have fixed their problem.
Nice. That's a good employee right there.
Would solve their problem.
That's a good
No,
employee.
that is me helping somebody not waste their money.
That's what I meant.
my
That's what I
heart.
mean. That's a good employee. Hell
Right. Yeah.
That gets
And,
a returning customer.
Yes, absolutely. And for them to not, I mean, to me, that's flat not doing your job. She, being in the position she was in, is a service to the people that walk in the door. she refused service.
All she had to do is pick up the damn phone and call the other departments. It's not that fucking hard.
Yeah, I mean I'm sorry, that's flat rude.
You would think with as Sue happy as people are these days, knowing that when she gets out the dialysis, she's going to be weak. She's going to have to hold these sites in.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to have real good balance, okay? Because dialysis will fuck you up. You know?
Yes.
You would think with as Sue happy as everybody is these days, that would kind of click in her head that if I don't find her a wheelchair and she falls on the way out the door, she could potentially sue the fuck out of this place and I would be out of job. I'm going to get on the phone and make a damn phone call.
Well, not necessarily. Patients do sign certain waiver forms that they don't even read all the information. They just sign it. And some of those waiver forms are limited liability issues to whereas if you do fall, you're on your own. You're signing this piece of paper stating that you acknowledge that the fact that you've read this piece of paper and that, a lot of times if people would just read that shit, people wouldn't sign shit. There wouldn't be any business in the world if people would actually read terms and conditions on certain aspects and waiver.
No, and I agree with you, but at the same time, you sign that paper saying that if you fell on the way out the door, it would be your responsibility. But when you're telling them, you're making it known to them at that moment, I don't think I can walk out of here. Can you please find me a wheelchair? And you have a family member calling in saying, hey, she's called me. She doesn't think she's going to make it out in the parking lot. She needs a wheelchair. Mm-hmm. And they blatantly refuse, and she falls. Mm-hmm. If you talk to an attorney, they're going to go, yeah, I don't give a fuck what kind of paperwork they signed. They knew there was an issue. They blatantly ignored it. That's what's the word I'm looking for? Not degradation of duty, but
I don't know.
Damn it.
It's okay.
That's not fulfilling your requirements as providing the service. You know they're hurt. You know they're not going to be able to make it to the parking lot. You refuse to care for them, and they fall. You're responsible.
I can see what they would say right now. They'd be like, well, if you think you can do this job better, why don't you come over here and you do it?
Well, move the fuck over then.
Well, here's my response.
I'll go get her a damn wheelchair.
Here's my response to that. My response is, if you don't like your job, leave. All right?
Yeah, you do it over.
It just goes back to Barry.
Waiting to take your job.
Back to what Barry said, and it's so truthful. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. People spend thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars on medical school, college, and stuff like that. They get in this field, and there are not all of them. There's some damn good doctors and nurses out there. Not all of them. But, man, there are some out there that are fucking conniving, evil little sons of bitches. And you just want to throat punch them, roundhouse them, and kick them in their dicks and pussies. That's what you want to do. All at the same time.
I actually had the opportunity to have interactions with a doctor that 4 years apart when we lost our last kid to where when we had Lucas, we went to the doctor to find out. I told Amanda, I said, hey, and I gave her this as like a Christmas present. I said, hey, make an appointment. We'll go to the doctor. I'll ask the questions I want to ask. If she answers them, makes me feel good enough, we'll try to have a child again. Of course, she's excited. We go. This doctor remembered us. She goes, oh, my gosh, I've been waiting for you two to come back in. She goes, I have an idea of how to get Amanda home safely and how to get your child home safely.
What?
Amanda had to take 2 shots of steroids in the belly a day to be able to make sure Lucas's body developed the way it needed to in case and for 100% surety that he would be delivered early, which he was.
Okay.
This woman was a doctor because her father told her, sitting at the table eating dinner, that a doctor is a man's job. A woman has no place as a doctor. She proved him wrong and became the best doctor up at South Bend. Nice. She left being a doctor to go to a lupus research center to be there to help lupus patients have children.
That is incredible. Do you
because
have the doctor's name?
Through.
Do you have the doctor's name? That's an okay. That's a good thing. Let's put their name out there to give her some credit.
I don't remember her first name, but Dr. Ballard is what I know her by.
Dr. Ballard. Well,
best doctor on the face of the planet with the biggest heart. biggest, I want to help you in any way I can I have ever had to deal with.
That is amazing. Guys,
I would give her everything.
I want to thank you guys for being on the show. It's time to get real quick. It's time to get my mama on the line.
Oh, shit.
So I'm going to let you guys go, and I'm going to call
Kicking us
my
out already.
Yeah. Kicking us out already. Bill, I may call you back. I may call you back three-way, and I may get you on here with my mom. How about that?
Okay, that's fine.
Barry, thank you for sharing your insight on this subject, man. It's really important that we have real-life people with real-life issues, man, and I appreciate your input on that.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Guys, I'm going to hang up on you here real quick. I'm going to call my mama, and this is going to be awesome.
All right, bro.
All right. Thanks for being on the show, guys. Here we go. So we got the conference call right there. And here we go. Here we go. We're going to get my mama on the show. We're going to call her right now. Here we go. Here she comes.
Yeah.
Mom, you're live on Exit 92 Radio on the Mac and Tech Show. What's going on?
I have been attacked by a Mac.
That's awesome. You've been tuned into the show, Mom. You've been listening. What's your take on all of this? On everybody's opinions?
You got to watch what you say. That's all there is to it.
Well, here on the Mac and Tech Show, Mom, we're told. Chris says we're live, by the way, Mom, and there are people on the chat boards right now. Chris says, "Hey, Dino's mom."
Hi.
And that's Krispy Kreme. That's the donut man. Chris, Dean kicked me off of the show. That's because he showed up 14 minutes late. Just saying. But no, Mom. I wanted to get your insight on here. How did it make you feel when somebody was kind of not so much jumping down your throat today, but how did it make you feel to have your words twisted around when you was there? You know what you said.
I just thought, here we go again, getting twisted around.
and do you feel like you can't do anything or say anything?
That's what I tell them.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't do this, can't do that, but everybody else can, you know.
Right.
What the hell?
Yeah, that's absolutely terrible, Mom. Is like I'm pretty much waiting, you know, for legal obligations, and we'll deal with different units and stuff like that all later. But so far, there's really not a whole big bunch I can do. As I had Mr. Bill Downey, Hillbilly Hefner himself. He was on here. He is a trained EMS, and he thinks it's bullshit how you've been treated. It is. And we're totally explicit on this show, Mom. We're allowed to cuss, so if you slip up. Mom, I want to do one thing. I want you to stay right there on the line. Don't go anywhere, okay?
All right.
All right, stay right there. We're getting old Hillbilly Hefner back on the line here. Here we go. Oh, man. He hung up on me. Oh, I had to hang up on everybody because I can't hang up on them individually. Well, that sucks. We'll just call my mama back. Can hang up on people individually. Let's see what she does here. See if Mom answers the phone. You there, Mom?
All right. Yeah.
All right. Well, I just tried to call Hillbilly Hefner himself, but he's not available right now. Went to the busy signal. He wants me to try again. He wants me to try again. We're going to try again here, Mom. Hold on. One more time. Let's see what happens. Bill, are you there? Nope. All right, Mom, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, can't call Bill for some reason. I didn't hang up. He says it's, say something again, Mom. Say hey to everybody.
Hi. Hey.
Bill's laughing. He says, but yeah, Mom, I wanted to do this show for you. We've went an hour and 5 minutes here. I wanted to tell you that I love you on the show. I know, Bill, I know you keep answering, but something's wrong with the phone lines. We're worried about it later. Seriously.
See, I'm not going to say no names, but this is the head honcho.
Yeah, you don't say no names. There's no reason to say any names.
All right, the head honcho said, if you are not satisfied with this unit, you think that you're being treated bad, you can always go to another unit.
No, you can't. That's the point, Mom. That's the whole point of this show today. You can't. Where the hell are you going to go? Where the hell are you going to go? Seriously, Mom. Think about it. Where are you going to go? You going to go Mishawaka, South Bend, Niles, Michigan, Indianapolis, Indiana? Where are you going to go? How are you going to get there?
Well, the main thing is, how would I get there?
Right. How would you get there? You can't. It's not.
And I already discussed it.
It's not plausible. So you are stuck. You are stuck with a scenario. Now, I know that that's not their fault, but you're stuck with a scenario that you don't feel like you're being treated fairly, but you really. So what are you doing? Are you trying to say to him that, you're just trying to suck it up? You're sacrificing your comfortability for accessibility. Correct?
Oh, and another thing, if you tell them you're only here for the money, you act like you don't care. That's not true.
Yeah, that's not true. Really? Really? Oh, Mom, I want you to tell the listeners, about how you can't scream out in pain because it affects the other patients.
The other patients.
Well, what's that about? What's that about? And I want the listeners to listen to this. Exactly in detail, what are you not allowed to do?
You can't get loud in the unit because it upsets the other patients.
So if somebody would stick you with the needle and you said, ow, just like that, what would they do? Would they get on to you?
Oh, no, be quiet. Calm down. It don't hurt that bad.
How do you know, motherfuckers? You ain't getting stuck with a needle. Am I correct? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't know. They're not getting stuck with a needle. Ever been stuck with a big-ass needle? How big is the needle, Mom? Do you know what gauge it is?
15.
It's 15 gauge. That's a pretty big fucking
and 14.
needle.
15, 14, whatever.
There's people on chat boards right now. There's got to be some kind of system that will pick up patients for that kind of stuff. Chris says, if it fucking hurts, let it out. Tell them to put earplugs in. Turn off your hearing aids. Fuck the other people, Chris says. So, yeah, that's a little bit, and everybody's listening to this. This is just a little bit of day-to-day kind of...
How many people is listening?
We don't know until the show is over. I can't look at the show right now as we're on air here. I don't know how many people are listening right now.
Well, you tell me when you get done.
I will. How many people listen to the show. But, so yeah, that was another issue I wanted to bring up there. Again, we're not saying no names because we don't need to yet. There's no reason to say anything. Not yet. It's not good enough. I need more. I need a guaranteed win. That's what I need. Or I need somebody to plant a kilo of Bam Bam underneath their car.
You don't say that stuff.
Why don't you say
Because
that
if
stuff?
it actually happens, they'll be after you or me.
Well, they got to prove that I put it under there, and I'm not saying that I put it under there.
Oh,
I'm just saying it's not what you know, Mom. It's what you can prove. You got to prove. I'm all the way in Kansas. Okay, you think for one fucking second they're gonna believe that I put a kilo of Bam Bam underneath a motherfucker's car? Seriously? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. They'd be like, yeah, he drove over 9.5 hours for one night.
you're like, yeah, son, I bet you don't drive like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Chris says he's got it. He'll cover it for me. Bill says,
But I want, hey, you tell Bill Dottie, I want some fucking people in there, walk in there every Saturday with me,
well, we
and
need
say they're related to me.
everybody's related.
Yeah.
Now, Bill says he's been stuck with a size 14 gauge needle, and it hurts like hell.
Yeah, probably taking blood.
Yeah.
He probably gave blood.
Did you give blood, Bill? It'll take a few seconds for him to answer because the podcast when it uploads, it's a few seconds behind. But yeah, Mom, that's just a little. Those are just a couple incidences that.
I wonder if these people could walk in with me.
Yeah, they can do whatever the hell they want. Chris says he's got it. He says, "What time? I will be there next Saturday." Chris says, "Baseball bats and ski masks." And Bill said, "Oh, shit."
They probably would have their militia down on it.
Well,
FBI and all.
shit. Well, we would be the militia. They would be the FBI. They would probably.
It'd be like on that show, that movie, Blues Brothers at the end. Everybody be putting their guns on everybody else.
Nate says he's coming too. He's coming with. What time every Saturday, Mom?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock sharp Eastern Standard Time. Bill said he'd walk in there and be like, "You guys are gonna learn today."
Oh, boy.
You don't fuck with Dino Max, Mom. That's just all there is to it, you sons of bitches.
Are you guys serious?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna kick one of them in the pussy. Right in the puss. Straight pussy kick. I think that would.
Oh, I know somebody that used to say that all the time.
What, a pussy
And
kick?
I'm not saying no names.
Yeah,
And
don't-
you know
don't-
who I'm talking
Yeah, don't
about.
don't say no names. We don't like to say no names unless they've already been on the show before. Then we don't.
And
That's
you
okay.
ought to call. You ought to call that guy up and see if he would answer and talk to you.
And be like, how many pussy kicks have you did today? Have you just kicked him in the pussy today? Have you just lost your foot? Did you lose a shoe? Did it go all the way there?
Just asking this: how many times would you like to kick him in the puss when you went up there?
I'm going to ask him if he went to a dialysis center and they didn't go find him a wheelchair, what would he do to him? So-
No, I'm talking about the guy that you called.
oh, Bill?
No.
The guy that I called.
Yeah.
Has he been on the show before?
No.
I didn't call anybody, Mom. I maybe messaged somebody on Facebook.
You know what I collect.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, okay.
All
Okay,
right.
I know who you're talking about. Okay.
He has said that I don't know how many times. I'd like to kick him right up.
Kick him right in
Yeah.
the pussy. Pussy kicks for days. New.
And I would.
It's
I
trending
wish you
worldwide
could
on
get
Twitter
him.
right now, Mom.
I wish you could call him and get him on there.
But Mom, I think the show is about over. But I want to thank you for being on. I want to thank Hillbilly Hefner, Bill Downey himself, and Mr. Barry Zom for being on the show. I always enjoy having those guys on the show, and I enjoy everybody tuning into the chat boards. And, Mom, I'm going to close out the show. Thank you, and we will continue. Make sure you write down special events, Mom, like this, and we will just continue to build our case and our investigation as we take down the Dialysis Center in Plymouth, Indiana. Notice we didn't give the name of the place because that's not part of the investigation. So, I do want to tell everybody, Bill Downey says she's going to have about 20 people show up to this thing. That's going to be some funny shit. Everybody be a baseball bat and mask. It's going to be fun time. It's going to be a fun time. Chris says, fuck that center. Thank you guys for all the support. Nate says, that would be great shit. Everybody's going to see, guys, we've been trying to find out, they need to take Medicare or Medicaid, those payments, the rides. We need all the help we can in northern Indiana.
All right, this is what it is. I told you 100 times.
All right, tell me again, fuckface. Tell me again.
You've got to be bedfast before.
No, I don't want to hear that shit. I know you told me that. Don't worry, we're going to find you some more rides. We're going to find you some more rides, some more dependable rides. And you never know. We may get you in a small minivan with 20 motherfuckers in there with baseball bats and ski masks going around pussy kicking bitches for fucking... Oh, man. But I do want to close out the show, Mom.
I just wonder what would happen if those guys all walk in there with me.
Uh-huh.
Pushing my wheelchair off of me in it.
Well, I promise you this,
and when
Mom.
they would come out, I wonder what they would think.
I promise you this. Shit would go down. It would probably be like the time, do you remember when you put the cats in the fish tank with the mice? And nobody did anything. The mice stayed on one side and the cat stayed on the other side and everybody just stared each other down. That's exactly what would happen in that scenario. Although we do have some pussy sons of bitches that are scared and they would probably call 911. Just saying. But I am going to... says on the side, pussy kickers. I got to close out the show, Mom. Thanks for being on the show. Guys, tune in May 28th at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for the last Exit 92 radio show. And if you want to, follow the Mac Attack show here on Spreaker.com. Come over there, follow us out. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Tune in May 8th. This Monday, live at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It Lives, It Breathes, the band. It's going to be on the show. Kevin Lasarda, lead vocalist for It Lives, It Breathes, is going to be on there. We're going to be talking all about their band and their wrestling music that they do. Guys, I'm out of here. I gotta do other stuff. So... my co-host was Bill Downey, Barry Zom. Special guest was Barry Zom, and special guest was my mama herself. I'm Dino Mac. I'm getting out of here. I'm kind of dead at this point. Guys, y'all stay cool out there. If you can't be good, at least be good at it. Peace. This is a good show, Mom. Good job.
Yeah.
Watch out!